for joining me today for another UX teardown. And so today what we are going to look at is just footer navigation. So we're just going to be looking at a small portion of the website that honestly a lot of times gets overlooked because I think a lot of people assume that nobody's going to look in the footer. But the reality of it is a lot of people utilize the footer to get to certain information that they expect to find in the footer, but also it can be a really good way to add in some other information and to help people navigate from different parts of your site. So we're going to look at the footer on two different sites today, and we're just going to kind of walk through good ideas and ways to improve. So the first one that we are going to look at is a site called Rollin' Greens, and they are plant-based protein. So a couple of things about this site is they have really clean and easy to see categories here in the footer. So the footer is a great place to put information such as privacy policy, terms of service, accessibility statement. All of that actually really needs to be on your site. And so the footer is a great place to store that information, but it is also the place that people expect to see that information. So keeping it in the footer is a good idea because if someone wants to see that, they're more likely to go to the footer anyway. So the way that they have this formatted is really clean. So we've got the privacy policy, we've got terms of service, and we've got the accessibility statement here down in the bottom. And then we have categories here, explore, support, and then company. So basically they picked things that were most important for them to display here, and then they put them into categories and grouped them together based on what the link was. So in the explore category, we have shop, recipes, it's going to be like their blog, and find in stores because this particular product is sold in physical stores as well. So I always recommend having a shop link in your footer. And the reason that I suggest that is because the footer is on every single page. And this site in particular has what's called a sticky header. So you can see the main navigation from everywhere. So you could use those links as well, but not every site has a sticky navigation bar, which means that if someone enters your site not from the home page, and they end up on a product page or a blog page or whatever, and they scroll down, they're going to have to scroll all the way back up or find a different way to navigate through your website. Whereas if there is shop links in the footer, no matter where they're at on the website, they can get to it. So there shouldn't really be any place that's a dead end on your website. There should always be the ability to go back to shop or to go to product or something. So this ensures that happens. They also have really, really pertinent information here under the support column. So FAQs, which if you don't have an FAQs page, highly recommend. It's really good to build trust with customers. It also heads off a lot of customer service issues. So a lot of times what people will need to find in the FAQs will relieve the need for them to reach out to customer support. And a lot of times they can find the information that they want before they're making a purchase. If you don't have an FAQs, that's a good thing to have. It's also something that people expect to see in the footer. I've seen people put it in the main navigation if it's a page that's visited a lot, or if they have just the specific product that would require that. Information about shipping and returns, also really, really important to have. And again, the footer is typically where people expect to see this. They have ways to contact, they have links to the About Us page, and then information about where they're at in the news and the press. And again, so they have all of the important pieces. So all of these privacy policies, terms of service, all of that absolutely needs to be in there. But a really good way to leverage it is a lot of what they've done here, putting shop links, putting links to other important parts of the website. The only thing that I think they probably could be leveraging here is if they have a newsletter sign up of some sort. This is a really good place to plug that. A lot of times people do that. It's not something that absolutely needs to be there, but it is pretty common practice to put that here as just a way for people to sign up and connect with you. So we're going to look at another example of a footer. Okay, so on this one, they do have the signups for a newsletter, and they have their logo. Again, those are both pretty standard. But what we're lacking here is a lot of the other things. So we don't have really any categories. They're all just listed here. We don't have the critical pieces. We don't have the accessibility statement. We don't have terms of service. We don't have privacy policy. We don't have shipping information. We don't have any of those things. And those things really, really need to be on your website. So those aren't there. But even outside of that, there aren't shop links here. And I'm going to show you why that matters. So we talked about another one, how the other one had a sticky main navigation. This one doesn't. So if I land here on the main page, and I want to buy something, so let's say I go to fabric, and I'm on this page, and I'm scrolling down. So I'm scrolling for a while. So let's say I land on this page from a Google search, and I'm scrolling, and I decide, okay, I don't necessarily want to be on this page. I have to scroll for a really long time to get to anything that will allow me to perform any sort of action. So I can look at pictures, but I can't shop at a lot of things. So if I get all the way down here, I'm at the footer, and if I just want to search for something, I can't. There's no sticky main navigation, so I would have to hit my back button on the browser, which if I didn't enter through the home page is actually going to take me back to the Google search that I was on or wherever I was before. So it's not necessarily going to navigate me within this website because I didn't come from the home page. So I can't shop from the footer. So if I want to shop, then I have to click into perhaps one of these collections, right? Which I actually can't click into from here. Or I have to scroll all the way back up to the main navigation. So I always recommend shopping links in the footer, but especially if you're not doing the main navigation that persists, you don't want people to have to scroll all the way back up to be able to perform an action. So again, the good thing about the footer being on every page is that if you have shop links or if you have links to really pertinent information, people can always get to other places on your website. So while the main navigation allows for them to be able to navigate through your website, and that's, primarily what people use, the footer can do the same thing to some degree. And so you want to be able to leverage that. So instead of seeing it as something that you have to have, I would encourage you to look at it as another way to leverage navigation on your site and another way to help people find what they need. So again, there's a lot missing on this one. Always, again, having accessibility statement, terms and conditions. They also don't have an FAQs and information about shipping. So we know that they ship products because we have up here in the announcement bar that they have free shipping for orders. So we know that they do sell stuff. And so people want to know about shipping as early as possible in the process. We've talked about this a lot before. And so this is just a good reminder that's great information to have in your footer. You want that to be really accessible to people. You want them to find information about how to shop, about shipping and returns, what that looks like, and FAQs to help answer their questions before they make a purchase, because those are good reasons for people to leave the site and not purchase on your site. If they can't get their questions answered before they purchase, they're less likely to complete a purchase on your website. So that is it for today, looking at footers on your website, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.